Hello everybody, I'm Chris Gasper and this is Globe 10.0, joined today by Joe Sullivan. David Ortiz has been out since July 16th with that Achilles heel injury, and it has hurt the Red Sox. The Sox are 8-11 in Ortiz's absence. They have 0 home runs from the DH spot and only 3 RBI. Does this make the case for Ortiz, Joe, that this guy should get a longer-term contract because he's that important to this lineup?
Well, the flip side to that, Chris, would be, would you want to give a longer-term contract to someone who's going to get hurt like that? I mean, he's old and susceptible to injuries. I don't think, look, they could have used him this weekend against the Minnesota Twins. They needed some runs. This was a chance to make up some ground, and they failed miserably. Look, I think he's replaceable in the long run. I don't think they have the person on the roster. That's the problem. But him as an individual, I don't think. I think he can be replaced. I really do.
See, I don't think he can. Now, look, you can put somebody at DH, but you want to talk about missing a guy. You're talking about a guy who leads the American League in OPS, leads the American League in on-base percentage, and leads the American League in slugging percentage. Right. Regardless of what the position is there.
Right.
See, I think too many people get into this he's a DH argument. Yeah. And I understand he's a DH, and that means you could pay him less, but to the Red Sox, he's more than a DH. He's your only consistent middle-of-the-order producer. And I think if you're going to let that guy walk away, good luck replacing that guy and paying less than $18–20 million a year.
So Adrian Gonzalez hasn't been producing in the last month?
He has.
Yeah, well, you said he's the only middle-of-the-order producer. Just not true. Adrian Gonzalez can produce, too. Yeah, and he will produce.
Throughout the course of the year, has he produced overall?
His numbers have been on the disappointing side. But, over the long haul, and Gonzalez is very big on measuring the whole season and not just in small segments. I think he can produce just fine.
Yeah, I think he can produce fine too, but he hasn't carried this team like Ortiz did at times. The offense, to me, has certainly seemed to miss Ortiz. To me, this does make the case that David Ortiz deserves. And by the way, when I say long-term, we're talking 2 years.
I was going to say, Chris, when do you want to do the extension?
Yeah, I mean, if they can't afford to give this guy 2 years, and if I'm David Ortiz, I'm taking my sweet time coming back because every game I miss makes a bigger case for a contract.